Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's me, Ryker. You've been here before. Let me stop playing with my microphone. It's annoying. So, I love the spaceships. You're just so spot on with those spaceships. Every time I look over, it's perfect. Phenomenal. What more could a spaceman ask for? Hey, Dr. Ravenholm, good to see you. Nemo, good to see you. Everybody out there, it's good to see you all. Good evening. I hope it's good evening. Hopefully if you're here, then it can't be that bad. I mean, I'm excited. I have something so awesome that I want to show you so bad. But I'm not going to. I'm going to restrain because it's just not time yet. Oh, and I hate being that person that does that to people, that says, there's something I can't tell you. Especially when it feels like marketing, right? Where it's like I'm not just trying to build anticipation. This isn't me trying to build anticipation. This is just me very excited, and I just can't control that. But it's not, I'm not ready to show you yet. But I will soon, hopefully soon. Hopefully after this next weekend. Then, yeah. Oh, but I'm really excited. And honestly, it's a wonder I'm even here right now because of how excited I am over this thing that I want to show you. So let that just be an indication of how rad this thing is and how excited I am to share it with you. I think you're going to like it a lot. All right. Well, I've been playing Warzone. What, for how long now? A long time. I mean, more or less since it came out. And I haven't spent a dime. I've gotten so much enjoyment out of it. And it's been a great game for my Steam controller journey. For whatever reason, there's so many options in that game. But it really appeals to my play style where it's fast paced, but there's a lot of choices that you have to make with your config. And there's a lot of areas to experiment without it being like a super complicated game that I wouldn't be interested in. So it's kind of like that nice middle ground where I spend half the time in the game and the other half of the time in the Steam controller configurator having fun. I have fun in the game. Big time. Boss, big time. But it's even more fun when you feel good about giving somebody your money. And it worked. They got me. Hey, let's give them Warzone for free and that'll suck them in. And then we'll market the crap out of all of our other modes that they can't play. And then we'll let them play some of them for a little bit, for a few hours. And it worked, man. It worked. Which is just crazy because I played the beta whenever that came out, last year or something. And I was just very not interested. But I really gave it a shot because I was excited. Because people were all saying, it was going to be like Battlefield. It was going to be the COD game that Battlefield fans wanted. What? What? But it's true. They said that. outrageous. And were they wrong? Oh, yeah, they were wrong. Because that game was horrible. I just did not enjoy the experience whatsoever. And it did not scratch my itch for a Battlefield alternative. Not even a little bit. It was like, I was glad that I hadn't spent money on it, or else I would have like felt really sort of deceived, because I don't know, from my experience, it wasn't anything like Battlefield. I mean, that mode, they had that mode, you know, and it was like, what was they call it? Ground War or something, battle. It's probably on here somewhere, but whatever. And that kind of just really turned me off to the whole thing. And then obviously Warzone brought me back in again. Here we are. So I bought the game, about Modern Warfare. And I was like, you know what? These guys deserve it. They worked so hard. They made this game Warzone, and they made it for free. And I've been playing it this whole time, playing it with you guys, playing it on the show, making videos of me playing, just having a great time playing this game. And I haven't paid them. And I don't feel bad about that. It's not like they're hurting for money. But the point isn't that I feel like bad about not giving them money. It's that I feel good. Like I enjoy having the experience of really feeling like it's money well spent, because I already got my money's worth. That's what I mean. It's the experience of being able to purchase something where there's less cynicism involved. You know, because I'm not looking at it like, oh, screw you guys. You want, oh, fine, I'll pay $60 for this game, you know, and like the whole attitude that could easily kind of accompany, you know, like, oh, another year, another Call of Duty, you know, but we buy those games because we still love them, right? Well, I mean, maybe not Call of Duty for everybody, but like we all have something that's like that, where we kind of resent the purchase, but we're totally going to do it. And they know that we're going to do it, and that's why they can I mean, it's a whole thing. So it feels good to be able to have an experience where it feels good to give your money and say, hey, you guys deserved it. And then that's it. Because at this point, I don't have to love anything else in the game. Because I feel like Warzone scratches my itch. So the rest of it is just perks. I didn't even know there was a co-op mode. I had no idea. That might be super fun. I mean, just by nature of co-op stuff being fun, I love co-op. And this might be really good. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I bought it, so now I'm trying to... No. This should be fun. And I know some of you guys have it, so if anybody has any suggestions on where we could even start with this, let me know. I mean, I think we should probably jump into the multiplayer, because there's going to be a lot of different modes. My God, they're still advertising in the game. I just bought the game, and they're like, we have more games for you to buy. Here's a button to go to the store. Don't play the game you just bought. Go to the store and buy more games. Why play the games when you could be in the store buying more games? No. No. Stop it. I don't want to buy all those games. Not yet. It's too fast. It's too much. It's ridiculous. Hey, Megaphone P. How's it going? Yo, back to you, my friend. And Nemo, no, it's not the space chair. Unfortunately, the space chair is still ridiculously hot. It's terrible. Sarcastic Warlock, how's it going? Good evening. Free for all with knives. Ah, that's all you. I don't feel confident with knives. I should use them more, though. I should do that. Look at all this. All right, so there's a quick play, and this probably So that's cool. You can like set what you like, your favorite modes and stuff, and then your quick play will sort of be tailored. All right, so these are the core modes. Damn, I had no idea that there were so many modes. Wow. I mean, I would imagine there's some like favorites. Infected. Eliminated survivors become infected. Infect everyone or survive the game. That's cool. That's like in that game Bullets and More, that VR game. They had a mode like that. That was a really cool game. The dev was a neat guy. I mean, I'm sure he still is. But I had some amazing times playing in that game. Absolutely phenomenal. It was one of the best. It was when VR was still new. And nobody was really sure like what the rules were. Nobody really knew what the boundaries were. What was allowed, what's not allowed. They say, hey, you don't you be moving around artificially now. That's a no-no. That will make you sick. And it will make you throw up. Stupid. I mean, yeah, they were right. Initially. But it's like with anything. Oh, no, don't get in a car. It'll make you feel woozy. What? Oh, don't get in an airplane. You'll get airsick. No, you get over it. Anyone that fishes has gotten over seasickness or learned to live with it. But honestly, VR cured my motion sickness. I had motion sickness for the longest time, and it was due to this whole... There's a lot of things that are specific to this atmosphere that I had to kind of get accustomed to, and it took some time, to say the least. There were a lot of very funny situations. We'll tell some of those stories one day. But what was neat was I got the HTC Vive. And sure, initially, it was like, whoa, this is weird, right? Like putting on a new pair of glasses. Even if they're the correct prescription, it can just feel strange. But it didn't take very long. It didn't take very long at all. And before, I don't know, maybe a few weeks, then I was artificially locomoting like the best of them, all around. Of course, we were still using room scale, and I had built a holodeck in the engineering bay. So I could use all that room to run around. And it was great. And what was crazy was I started getting more and more experimental. Trying things, turning off comfort settings, increasing speeds on things, doing all sorts of stuff that would have at the beginning turned my stomach. And I started finding that if I thought about it differently, it would change how my body reacted to it. I don't understand the earth science behind any of this. I'm just going to say that if I thought of myself as having powers to, say, rotate the world, if that was a component in the game, it wouldn't make me sick. If I thought of it as not artificial, as an actual power that I had. Walking around, if I fake walked, I wouldn't get sick. It was insane. It was like fake walking was enough for my brain to think that I was really walking and to not freak out. I don't get it. But the craziest part was maybe a year after I ended up on an airplane. And I had always gotten extremely motion sick on airplanes on Earth. And I didn't. And I was waiting for it, and it never came. And I instantly thought of VR because I was thinking, when was the last time that I felt sick? And it was like, I was probably playing VR and then I thought, you know what? I wonder. So I looked into it and I found out that that's actually a thing. So VR sort of, I don't know if I should say cured, but it hasn't come back. You know, the motion sickness. I still do use VR every once in a while. I don't know, maybe that keeps, I don't know, that stomach strong or something. But, oh man, I'm overwhelmed by looking at all these. You know, the infected mode was a little different on, we called it BAM. Bullets and More. BAM. It was cool. I like the name, you know? So, I mean, some people complain. I like the name. It was cool. It was a cool game. And there was one dude making it. Just one guy. This guy from Germany. And he was so cool. And you would just go and you jump into the game and you see, oh, there's a multiplayer match going. There wasn't a lot of servers. There wasn't a lot of players back then. There still aren't a lot of players. You jump in the game, you'd see a server, and you jump into the server, and then it's the dude. And he was so nice. His name was Patrick. Just a super, super nice, kind, soft-spoken German guy. And he would ask you questions about the game. And, you know, you'd play around, and he'd say, hey, you know, look, I just made this. And look it, knives. You could throw them or, you know, whatever it was. And he'd show you this cool thing. And it would be like, wow, this is so neat. I'm playing with a guy who's making the game, and he's showing me cool, like, things in the game as a person, like a full, you know, like, character model. It was just an amazing, amazing experience that I had never had in a video game before. And we ended up playing that game all the time for hours and hours and hours and hours a day. It was so my body would be so sore from running back and forth and leaning, squatting, so many squats, just ducking gunfire in that game. And the cool part was, it was one of those games in one of those communities where it was so small, it felt like old Half-Life mod days, you know, where it's like there's 8 people who are like the regulars and they always show up. And then you just end up getting to know them, you know, and nobody you know knows about any of this. Like, you talk to them and they're like, oh, that's cool, but it's not like a thing that everyone's into. But the people that are into it are like super into it, like ridiculously. I had this poll, this little poll. I bought this system from this guy off of Reddit, and it would go into my controllers and have these little clips. And he had like a very short rod, like aluminum rod, and you would pop it into those clips. It would just sort of snap down in, and it would give you a rigid surface. And as you would aim your gun, it would feel like you were holding a gun. And you're looking in the game, right? You're wearing the headset and you're looking at the gun in your hands. And you're feeling it. I mean, it's just absolutely mind-blowing. And we would just go around, and I would use this thing. I don't remember how much I paid for it, but it didn't matter. And it helped my game, and I would be able to pull it up and like rest it up against the headset, you know, and it was just the best time. It was so much fun. And we would all play. And then Patrick would say, hey, we got a new mode called Infected Mode. And it's super fun, and it would be something that like people in the Discord had been saying, hey, what if we try this? And then what if we do that? And Patrick's like, oh, we could put that into this mode. And then people are like, yeah, that would be really, and then here's an idea, and then there's an idea. And Patrick was really good at sort of taking all this in, because there's a lot of ideas coming from the community, which was great. And it was great because he listened to the community, but I would imagine it would be overwhelming. But he would take it in, and he would filter things, and he would implement things that were just like the coolest things. And every update was exciting. It was one of those games where every update you were just, you would mark your calendar, you know, like if he said, oh, new update on this night or whatever, it's like, I can't wait. That's it. I'm so excited. And there would be a new mode, and he had this infected mode, and it was so you get the idea for the game, right? Modern military setting, More almost like a sandbox style game, really. But multiplayer. And we would play, and he would implement these different modes that would be sort of unconventional. Like you wouldn't really be expecting it. Like this infected mode. And so the way it worked, was it one? How many? I can't remember how many people started off as infected, but not very many. And then the rest of the team is uninfected. And the infected person can see them, right? So you can see like their outline, like wall hack, aimbot sort of thing. And here's the coolest thing. All you had to do was touch them, all right? You had your hands, right? The hand model was this crazy, like, demonic hand thing, right? Like these claws. And you could climb anything. Literally anything. And it was so cool. You could fling yourself from stuff. So you'd be able to climb, say, like the side of a building, right? And the guys are maybe out there hiding or something. And you're climbing this building on the other side. So you're climbing up the back, and then you just go all the way around this side of the building. And you're doing this the whole time. And you get these waves of like laughter and just pure joy, and you start laughing to yourself, but you have to shut up because the other players can hear you. So you have to be quiet, but you can't help it because it's just so fun and hilarious. You're climbing the side of the thing, right? Maybe you like fling yourself to like a street light or something, and you're holding on, and the guys are running around, and you'll get a team where they're not veterans at this mode, and they forget to look up. And then you have these amazing moments where you basically are living as the predator. And it's the most amazing, like, predator hunting game that's ever existed without actually being that. And you pounce down on someone and you get the guy, and then the guy next to him turns around and sees you. Of course, remember, proximity chat. So you get the guy and he screams. And as he's screaming, he dies. So then his voice just gets cut off completely. And it's amazing. His voice gets cut off. His friend turns around to see what's going on. He's further than a swipe away from you, but he actually has to grab his gun. So even though he turned and looked at you, it's not like a regular game like, Call of Duty or something, where when you turn and look at something, you're adjusting your aim. He turns and looks, and then he has to turn around with his gun and point it at me, which gives me enough time to get up to him and swipe at his leg. And I get him. And then that guy is now infected. And so it's such a beautiful, beautiful mode because there's so much tension in trying to not get infected that when you get infected, it's like you're at the peak tense moment, and now you want to go get those guys because you're redirecting all of that tension now back on the remaining survivors, your former team. So you're infected now, and they know that you're infected. So they're like, they may know, they may think, oh, well, he knows where we're hiding now. Because he's out there, he got infected. Now he's going to come through the back door or whatever, so it changes like the balance of the game. And the neat thing about this mode was sort of the fact that it was so raw, like there weren't a lot of animations, right? So it would just be your character model in VR with essentially like 3 points of tracking, your head and your hands. And sometimes like the movement would just be so silly looking of the characters, especially when they were climbing stuff. And so sometimes you would just be laughing so hard at what you're seeing. And it wasn't necessarily like a funny game, but the experience was just so much fun. I love that game, and that game is more special to me, like than VR. You know what I mean? Like to me, that's the magic of VR. That's the promise of VR. is as a platform providing us an opportunity to have experiences that we would never have otherwise had in any other medium, and yeah, VR is expensive. I definitely know how expensive it is. But there's something about it that is so, feels like, I don't want to say feels like the future, but feels like something where we'll look at it at a period of time and people will think about the time before VR, almost like the way many people and young people specifically think about the time before colored films. So you would think, oh well, black and white movies as an era, before colored movies, before, or you could even say like silent films. To the people watching silent films and the people making silent films, they were just making films. They weren't making silent films. I mean, they weren't even silent. They just didn't record audio on set. They had music and stuff. That was all part of it. And they didn't see it as lesser than the HD Dolby 5.1 surround sound, productions. Because that wasn't a thing. So it was just what it was. Just like right now, like I played with a mouse and keyboard for the longest time. And I can almost look at that in my own personal journey and be like, wow, like what a trip that was, to think that I would play in such a limited way, where I was so limited by the keyboard, and these devices are just not necessarily optimized and for this experience. It's like you use this because your dad had a computer and you wanted to play games, so you found computer games, right? But it wasn't like a game thing. So then you get the Steam controller, and you realize that so much of gaming can be your influence on the experience. In this case, via the Steam controller configurator or the options that you have. So it feels like an obvious progression to me, in my journey, along this gaming evolution. It feels like the natural next step, and VR feels like that too. But the thing is, non-VR gaming, flat gaming, pancake gaming, whatever you want to call it, is like the best it's ever been. You know what I mean? Like it's at its peak. It's like the hardware that exists, these new NVIDIA 30 series graphics cards, holy smokes. Those are amazing. And the price is absolutely unbelievable. Like it's almost not even fair. Like for their competition. Like what in the world? That's amazing. I love it. I love it. We have so much RAM. And we've got these hard drives, these SSDs that are so fast. It's amazing stuff. Especially with the next gen now upon us. It will enable developers to make more interesting and impressive and amazing games. But what's I feel is happening is like, as this is peaking, VR is like just beginning. You know what I mean? It's like it's still just barely there. But then it's going to start going really fast. Really fast. And it's going to be as bad as it's going to be good. Just like the internet. Just like technology. But for those who use it well and use it wisely, it will be a monumental leap forward in the ability to experience not only a game, but the storytelling possibilities are unbelievable. Imagine, if you will, for a moment, that we did this whole show in VR, and people that had headsets can put them on, and then they would not be watching the show from the cameras, but they'd be watching the show from a chair right here in the room. And you could be in the room, right? Say I recreated the room, in Unreal. I could do that. Put up the cameras, do the whole thing. Wouldn't that be amazing? The lights, the screens, the monitors. Hell, I could do the keyboards. The whole thing. Positional audio so that the music is coming from this direction, right? And that my voice is coming from a little bit over here. That would be amazing. And you could sit there and I could look back and I could say hello. And I would have some sort of, basic tracker. The HTC tracking pucks, whatever they're called, those exist. Those have existed for a long time. And they work. And since I'm sitting, imagine that. I have my character model in the game sitting here, okay? And then maybe I'd be willing to put it on my headphones on the top of the strap. So then stick that tracker. So then as I'm sitting here, it's tracking the head of or my head, and it's putting that onto the character model, and I'd be able to turn around, talk to you, and anyone who is watching in VR would feel like would be that person right there. You know what I mean? It would be like, instead of looking at a camera, I'm looking at, a virtual camera. That would be so much fun. And that would be doable. Like, everything that I just mentioned is doable. It's just a matter of putting all the pieces together. And it's a matter of the audience giving a damn about VR and being able to afford headsets. And that's just the terrible, terrible part about Facebook. Because Facebook is going to make it accessible. And they're going to own it. And they're going to own the data. They're going to own your data. They're going to own all of the telemetry. They're going to own so much data from these headsets. And it is terrifying when you read about what they can collect from the cameras in their own terms of service. I'll let you do the research yourself if you're curious, but it is absolutely chilling to think that a company like that would have access to a device with all of the sensors, with all of the cameras, with all of the microphones that a virtual reality headset would have. That's not what this video is about. It's about my mustache going into my mouth. All right. Facebook, they want data. It's debatable whether their purposes with that data are noble or not. But my argument is that it's people's data. And people just simply don't understand that they're being robbed. But that doesn't make it okay to rob them. Facebook went to India and wanted to provide internet for free. What an amazing philanthropic, is that the word? Thing to do. And from what I understand, they were given the finger and told to hit the road. Because the wise whoever makes those decisions over there knew what Facebook was trying to do. To come in there and absorb all of this data. India is going to be a huge market. It is a huge market, and it's going to become the biggest market. And if Facebook could own that data, watch out. So That's why I'm a little... It's going to be good for VR in terms of getting headsets onto heads. It's going to be bad for VR for what is going to happen after that. Yes, it will make it affordable to get a headset. And then what? So, be mindful of your data. And that is not a political opinion. It's a life opinion. It's your data. And I miss the good old days. The golden years. Golden years? No, that's older, right? The good old days. The good old days of VR. When people like Patrick were experimenting, trying new things, testing the boundaries, and giving many of us a phenomenal time. I don't know what... Oh yeah, the infected. I saw the word infected. That's how this all started. Oops, come on. There it is. Sarcastic Warlock. VR came together for me when I panicked and dropped my gun in a firefight. What a beautiful amount of unpredictable interactivity. Yeah. Those moments are like the best because they're not the moments that are on the box, you know? They're not the moments that are written in the description. They're the moments that when you're reloading your gun and you drop your magazine, right? And you think, oh, I dropped, where's the other one? There is no other one. You have to pick it up. You had two. You know, that's your other one. Pick it up. You know, there's no button that's going to get you out of this. You have to bend down and pick that thing up and stick it back in your gun properly. And those things happen so often in VR. Not like, you know, like fumbles and things like that. I mean, they could. But moments that you don't even think about when you experience them in a regular game, but then you experience them in VR. I mean, even just the coolest thing, you're playing a multiplayer game, right? Whatever it is, a shooter, like whatever it is. And you meet up with your friend at some point, right? You're playing Warzone. You guys are going through different houses, and then you kind of meet like in the patio area. You're like, okay, hey, how's it going? Here's some armor plates or whatever. You do that like 100 times. You know, like in the course of playing something multiplayer. Anytime it's, you know, maybe a game where you're not exactly together the entire time. But when you do this in VR, it feels super cool. And it's almost impossible to not get like a big smile on your face when it's like, oh, this is a person that I know and they are hundreds of miles away. And I'm going to go up to them and say hi. And you're literally going up to them. If they're taller than you, you're looking up. Or if they're smaller than you, you're looking down. And you're saying, hello. And then they're responding to you. And the voice is coming from that character model's head. And positional audio is a game changer. So in VR, that really makes the difference when you have voices coming from people. We're not supposed to just be talking about VR, though. That wasn't my plan for today. I think maybe I've just been nostalgic, reminiscent of those days when I was able to spend many, many, many hours in VR. That was before I built the TRICOM, not the Discord thing, but the TRICOM device, and started re-uploading and communicating with my team. So I was kind of depressed for a little while. It was a little dark period. VR definitely helped me get through it. And back on fire. So I'll be always reminiscent and always grateful for those experiences. And that's one of the best parts about gaming is the experiences you have. The person that you met playing that one game, and you guys had a great time, and you played for a few years, and you never met each other, and but you hope he's doing good, and he hopes you're doing good. And you had some really, really great experiences together. And when you think about those things, the memory is way more powerful than the actual experience of playing the game sometimes. And the cool thing with VR is the memory is not a memory of playing a game. It's a memory of doing the thing. So when you have a memory of you and your buddy freaking out, hiding behind cover when there's a whole team coming down the alley and they're going to kill you and you guys are the last two people on your team, and you're laughing at how insane this is, and then you get up and you unload and you destroy these guys and you high-five in the game, and it's the coolest thing. And you strained yourself, pulled a muscle in your neck when you were spinning around like that because you're not used to all this physical activity. It's been a while. You go to sleep at night. You have a dream. Or you don't dream. You just think about what you did. You're not thinking about standing in a room with a headset on. You're not thinking about the image of you standing there in a room looking like a dork. That's not what you're thinking, because that wasn't your experience. Your experience was hiding behind those barrels with your friend, laughing, trying to reload your guns, and giving each other shit. Like grabbing the ammo off of him, sticking it in your gun. I mean, all of these things, right? Grabbing the grenade off of the guy next to you who's coming after you, right? Pew, move out of the way, grab the grenade, pull the pin, drop it, boom. You died too, but hey man, it was cool. It was worth it. These experiences are not just experiences had in gaming, because once you have them, they're experiences had. And your brain doesn't get it. It's like our brains have not caught up yet. It's going to take a little more time for this to be a normal thing, for us to be like, oh yeah, no, that's totally normal. Our brains are still freaking out. And it's wonderful. It's a wonderful time. It's a wonderful time it's a wonderful time on Earth. All right, look at all this. This is too much. I'm actually overwhelmed now by everything in this game. Yeah, open back headphones can help. Yeah, the Index and I think the new Odyssey Plus or something. Wait, I can't remember. No, it's not it's the HTV, HCV, HZ, HTC. No, HP. Maybe it's HP. HP Reverb 2. Yeah, that one also has those Index style headphones that sit off of the ear, and those work insanely good, like almost eerie. You forget that they're there because you don't feel them, and you just hear the sound, and you think the sound is, but you definitely can't use those if you don't want people to hear exactly what you're hearing, because they're really not headphones. You can hear quite a bit. All right. I think before I make any decisions, I should just do a quick play and see what happens. Also, I've changed some things with the Steam controller. If you go, I've turned acceleration back on here in Warzone.
No.
Raid?
Yes.
Ah. But I did. I did do it. What do you mean no?
No.
I don't know why he's saying I did. So I had it off for the weekend and, well, throughout the week as well. And I'm turning it back on now. In modes that I've never played. And that's probably not a great idea, but we're going to do it anyway.
Team deathmatch. Here they come. Attack!
Alright, I don't know any of these maps, obviously. These guys, I'm gonna...
Changing mag!
Enemy at the hotel. Enemy in the mid. Watch out! Stay sharp. Enemy at the restaurant. Reloading. Enemy personal overhead.
Oh! He got me.
Enemy marked!
Watch out!
Save your
Enemies in the area.
Oh, yes.
Oh no!
Enemy UAV overhead.
Damn!
Enemy at the hotel.
Got that.
Enemy personal radar overhead.
Oh no!
Enemy at the restaurant.
I didn't realize they had a doorman. Oh, we're winning! Raid! We're winning!
Oh, yes.
Enemy at the cafe.
Nice shooting.
Enemy at the shop. We're halfway there. Keep going.
One down!
With you.
Where are they?
Friendly care package inbound. Loading down. Reloading.
Do I have a parachute? If I jump from here, will I... Do I have a do these guys? Are those parachutes?
Enemies in the area. Allied counter UAV activate. Reloading. Good job. Reloading. Allied cluster strike incoming.
Reloaded.
Can I shoot through the chain link?
Setting explosive.
I can shoot through the chain link.
Cruise missile. Request recon flyover. Copy. Falcon 301 route for personal radar coverage. Target down. Cluster strike ready for launch.
Well, that's damn great.
Thanks, Ryker. I mean, right? Oh, jeez. I'm so in the... Oh, no! Yeah! I wasn't prepared for that. Oh, shoot! Stop shooting at me!
Calling to base. This is our fight. Stay focused. Allied missile launched. Allied UAV overhead.
Hey,
Finished. We have done.
we did it! Oh, man.
Well, that's so damn wonderful.
I agree. Thanks, Raid.
Oh, yes.
Hey, look at that. Not so bad. 12 kills. All right.
That is just so damn wonderful.
I feel like when you say that, you're being patronizing or something.
Yes.
I knew it. Knew it. All right, so that was Team Deathmatch. I had a good time. Thanks for the GG, Sarcastic Warlock. Appreciate it. And Nemo, thanks for the ha 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 ha. Nice.
Well, that's so gosh darn wonderful.
Isn't it? Hey, Raid,
Yes, Ryker.
can you do me a favor?
Yes.
Can you perform a scan on the area directly in front of me?
Scan complete. You're not going to like this. My sensors indicate men with guns near your current location.
No prisoners.
Oh, that's where you're wrong, Raid. That's exactly what I'd like to hear. Exactly. Let me just keep it on this camera until the kill feed is cleared. So you won't know what happened.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. Look it, the match is ready for us to begin. The beginning of the very beginning of the match.
Reloading.
Oh, okay. So this is one of the ones where
You're in control.
you do this thing. You gotta you kill the guys, and then you gotta pick up the little PNG file that spins around. The little graphic. The little what is it? I don't know what it is. It's a strange shape. But we gotta go pick that stuff up though, right? Or else we don't get the points. Yeah.
Reloading. Enemy at the tower. Personal radar drone standing by.
What is this guy doing up here?
Gotcha, fucker. Target. Reloading. Reload. Reloading. 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 I'll give you cover. Flash out! Clean kill.
Oh! Oh, they're everywhere.
Reloading. Got that fucker.
Oh no! Alright, what we need here is we need a good motivation. Like, how about for every kill that I get, Raid
Fight.
has to...
No, Ryker.
Well, you don't even know what I'm going to say yet. For every kill that I get, you have to give me $1.
Yes.
You're down for that?
Oh yes, Ryker.
Oh, I'm kind of surprised, but okay, cool.
Confirmed. Friendly gunship in the AO. Reloading. Right.
It's madness.
Yes.
No!
Kill confirmed.
I don't have my buttons bound in this mode. There's other buttons, abilities, and things that I'm going to have to bind. This is absolute chaos. Jeez.
Target down.
Damn it. Hey! Look at that. We did it. Go team. Yeah, I can see why it may leave your hands shaking. It leaves my hands trying desperately to remain steady. Hey, there we go. This is pretty good. I mean, it's not the worst for a first timer. I mean, all things considered. I mean, I am from space, so I don't know if that's in my favor or working against me. Who cares? We've got a Steam controller. I want to try something, but it keeps doing different modes, you know, from the rotation. So I'm another team deathmatch. That's fine. I love team deathmatch. I'm a big fan, especially when, well, you don't want me to start rambling about why I like teams. Oh my god, an oil rig? Dude, when I was little, I used to play with an oil rig. It's my favorite. Hello, everybody. I don't know if my mic works, but I'm trying. Oh,
We've taken the lead.
you can't spot in this, huh?
I'm with you.
What is he doing? Is he taking a leak? Did you guys see that guy? He was standing there peeing into the building. That's incredibly rude. What is this thing? I'm enthralled by it. It's some sort of digging tool to get to the oil? It's amazing. Terrifying at the same time. Oh. Okay. I'm gonna follow him. I have no idea what I'm doing. Other than running. Oh, hey. That guy's AFK.
Enemy at the compound.
Stands for always fucking killed. Damn it. Alright, alright. I have no idea where I'm going, but I'm gonna go in the opposite direction from whence I came. And try to stay around the perimeter. Oh, and not shoot my pals? Sorry, dude.
UAV overhead.
Bad guys. Oh, they're right there. They're in that room right there.
Enemy at the bridge.
Whoa. Jeez. Sloshy little lady there, just slipping and sliding around in her little wetsuit. I will shoot you in the head, my friend. You do not want to point your gun at me.
Target down. Online.
Same goes for you, little lady.
For escort.
Oh! All right. Now you, on the other hand, with those beautiful, beautiful bullets. Let me see that again. Look at that.
Reloading.
It's more of a party than it is a death.
Request recon flyover. Copy. Jaguar 3-0 en route for personal radar coverage.
It is a trip, the amount of content that there seems to be in this game. You know, that whole list we were looking at with all those multiplayer modes, that's just like the multiplayer part of it. But not the entire multiplayer part of it, because there's other parts that are also multiplayer, but they're not part of the multiplayer.
Zero, personal radar is bingo fuel. Recalling to base.
Was that if I use his gun, do I get his? No. Oh no! I just wanted to see if I got his pretty bullets, but nope. I feel like, do you remember? You remember how we were talking the other day about the Steam controller and how different games you'll want to tweak it if you wanted to, you know, like you could really fine-tune things. And what I'm noticing right now is like with this game or these maps, the last two maps I've played are very different than Warzone. And if I were to really customize my controls for this game, I would increase the gyro sensitivity. Maybe not the full pull gyro sensitivity, which is that low, ultra low sensitivity distance, because that's really just for sniping. But my base gyro, as well as my ADS gyro. Because there's a lot more looking around. Close quarters.
They're just gonna deliver it.
I'm so confused by this map. I'm not a fan of this map. Mostly because I'm just confused. I don't know the layout. Yeah, using similar settings for like all the games makes sense in terms of muscle memory for sure. There's a lot of benefits to keeping things sort of unified and standardized. But then you don't get to have as much fun customizing everything for hours on end instead of playing the game. So, I guess it depends on what you're after. Even when I have a config that works perfectly adequately, I'm still looking for ways to tailor it specific to the game I'm playing. I mean, it's sort of in an effort to augment the gameplay experience, you know, by making it control differently. Not arbitrarily, of course, but in a way that improves that particular game.
Got a personal radar drone ready for escort. Reloading!
I'm really liking
Enemy at the bridge.
the acceleration being back on. So after giving it 4 or 5 days of no acceleration and getting used to it again,
We're winning this. Keep it tight. Reloading.
I feel good now, you know, knowing, having the confirmation.
Friendly! Friendly!
Hey, we did it.
That was a fight. Solid work.
Great job, team. I don't know if you guys can hear me, but good work. All right. Yeah, I wasn't expecting to do phenomenal on that one, considering how confused I was most of the time. And of course, you guys sitting there yabbering on in my ear about the Steam controller and all this nonsense that isn't really relevant to the actual game that we're playing, or the experience that we're trying to have. But it doesn't matter because that's what we're into, damn it. So that's what we're going to talk about. You understand? Everyone understands. That's why you're watching this. Because I'm going to ramble about the Steam controller uncontrollably for hours and hours. When someone adds up all the amount of time that I've spent thinking about the Steam controller, it's a lot of time. Talking about the Steam controller, a long time as well. And look, here we are. Talking about the Steam controller. I tricked you. You didn't even see it coming. Well, you know what I'm about to say, don't you? No. That's way off. I was going to say, I feel pretty good about this game. And I feel late to the party. But that's okay. Because my experience is my experience. And I'm enjoying it. Late to the party or not. Look at all this freaking content. And the game plays really well. No crashes. Here I am, praising a Call of Duty game. Good job, Infinity Ward. You made me care again. You made me Nancy Kerrigan.
No.
It was just a joke.
All right.
All right. Whatever you say. All right, Raid. Did you have a good night?
Maybe.
Well, I hope you did. Did I have a good night?
Yes.
You're right. And I hope you had a good night as well. Thanks for hanging out. And I will see you. I will see you tomorrow.